So hey animes fans, the series name is What If Naruto Become Demon in Demon World, so let's start the series. Konohagakure was the most powerful of the 5 great elemental nations. It always housed top-notch shinobi such as the Hashirama Senju, his brother Tobirama Senju, Madara Uchiha, Sarutobi Hiruzen the Sandaime Hokage, his 3 students Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade called the Sannin, Sakumo Hatake the White Fang and others. Among the top ninja in the village there was one date that always stood out because people in the village would always remember it. It was October 10th, and that was the date when a 9-tailed fox attacked the village. Its tails crushed mountains and caused tsunamis with a single swing. The ninja in the village fought with all their might to defeat the monster, but its sheer strength proved too much for it. However, there was one ninja who fought against the demon one-on-one. His name was Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage of the village. He appeared on top of his summoned toad Gamabunta and formed a hand sign. Then the entire area was bathed in a white light, and when it died down, Gamabunta was gone, as was the Kyuubi. But the Yondaime Hokage would not come back from the battle, as his life was taken as a sacrifice when he used a powerful sealing jutsu on the Kyuubi. The only thing left of the Kyuubi was a seal on the belly of a baby boy who was Minato's own son. He had the same spiky blonde hair and the same blue eyes. The boy's name was Naruto. Time skip. Naruto was 12 years old and walking down the street of the village, ignoring the glares and comments thrown this way. Ever since his birth, people hated him because the adults who remembered the fox attack took their anger out on him, and the younger generation ignored him as per their parents' requests. Some tried to beat him physically, but the blonde proved to be a top-notch fighter, and always beat them back, always putting them in the hospital. He was dressed navy blue pants and sandals, an orange shirt under a navy blue high-collar sleeveless shirt, and on his arms were arms bands that covered his forearms almost up to his elbows. But the one thing that stuck out was a large amulet dangling around his neck. It was double-sided with one side silver and the other gold, and in the center of both was a large red gem. Those who saw it wondered where he got it, and knew it might be worth a lot of money, so men tried to steal it from him, and women tried conning him, but there was never a success. He had just finished eating at Ichiraku's and was heading home when an ANBU appeared behind him. Naruto-san, Hokage-sama requests your presence. That was all he said before vanishing. Naruto let out an annoyed sigh. Okay, old man, let's see what you want. Then Naruto made his way to the Hokage Tower. Sarutobi Hiruzen was doing some paperwork waiting for Naruto to show up. I wonder if he'll change his mind this time? He asked himself out loud. Then he heard the door open, and when he looked, he saw Naruto walk in. Ah, Naruto-kun, so good to see you, he said cheerfully. Naruto said nothing except sat in a seat and propped his feet on top of the desk and leaned back. So tell me, what is so important? He said, getting right to the point. Sarutobi sighed. Naruto-kun, is there any chance that you will still consider becoming a ninja? The blonde scoffed and set his feet back on the floor. I knew it. How many times do I have to tell you? The answer is no, because I failed for 2 years due to biased teachers who tampered with my exams among other things, so pray tell, why should I become a ninja? Because it's what your parents would have wanted, Sarutobi thought. He wanted to tell Naruto about his heritage so badly, but he felt the boy wasn't ready yet, so he planned to tell him by the time he was at least 15 or 16 to do so. Because I know you can become a great ninja. Wow, old man, for a minute you almost had me. Anyway, you know how the teachers treat me and do nothing about it, so whose fault is it? Sarutobi remained silent. True, he did know what the teachers were doing, but only punished them by docking their pay and making them perform low-level missions. He couldn't do anything else since the village was still suffering from the Kyuubi attack, so he needed all the ninja he could. If that's all, then I'll be going now, Naruto said and left, slamming the door rather hard. Sarutobi sighed heavily and then looked at the picture of Minato. What am I going to do? Streets. As he walked back to his apartment, but his luck wasn't good as he ran into Kiba Inuzuka. So loser, what's it like not being a ninja? Even if you were, you probably wouldn't be a good one since you failed twice. Naruto severely didn't like Kiba because of his arrogant attitude and always degraded him. He walked up to the boy Kiba. He sniffed him. You stink, he said simply and walked off. Kiba didn't counter but instead sniffed himself and looked pissed but never said anything. As he walked, he cursed his luck again as he ran into Sasuke Uchiha. Hey dope, going to go live your worthless life? What's I like having no one to care for you? Naruto looked bored. Hey, wasn't your entire clan killed? Sasuke snarled at remark about his family. I thought so. Then he walked off. Sasuke looked about to attack the vessel but decided against it. The blonde container went back to his apartment, and stripped to only his pants and undershirt and laid in bed. Old man, why would I become a ninja if I don't trust you? The truth was that Naruto didn't trust many people. He didn't trust the villagers because they already hated him. He didn't trust the kids his age because they didn't know him. And he especially didn't trust the ninja because how they treated him. He didn't trust Sarutobi because the old man knew something about his parents, but would never tell him. He got under his blanket, and prepared to go to sleep for a bit when his amulets glowed and he wondered what was going on. Then his amulets flew out of his apartment, and not wanting to lose his memento he took off after it. The amulets flew towards the Hokage monument, so Naruto did the same and ended up inside it. He looked around and saw that there was a door to inside each of the heads of the former Hokage where their most valuable possessions were kept and only family could get to it. He saw his amulets at the door of the Yandames, so he walked up to it. When he got close enough, the door had a split down the middle and then opened up. When he walked inside he saw there was hardly anything inside except for 2 swords. The first one was a katana but looked a bit longer, and had a gold guard and a white and blue wrapped handle. The second sword was like a broadsword with a guard that looked like a W with ornamental designs in it. At the end of the handle were skulls. The amulets circled around the swords, and then in a bright light appeared what looked like a ghost. The specter had slick back white hair, a black outfit with a long purple trench coat over it all, and a monocle on his left eye. "Hello Naruto, my name is Sparta." For Naruto to look at a specter of a person he never heard of didn't seem too shocked or surprised. "Well Sparta, you mind telling me what is going on?" Sparta laughed a bit. "I'm surprised that you don't seem too freaked by seeing me." Naruto shrugged. "I've seen worse." "Indeed," Sparta said. "Anyway, since you want an explanation I'll give it to you. Tell me, what exactly do you know about the Kyuubi attack 12 years ago?" "Just that the Yondaime Hokage defeated it. No one talks about it really," Naruto answered. "Well, the truth is that Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, did defeat it, but he sealed it away inside a child. That child being you." Sparta paused for a moment. Naruto hung his head. "I see, so that's why I'm treated like shit. Okay, besides that, anything else?" Sparta nodded. "Yes, I will tell you everything about your parents and heritage." Naruto was shocked. "I'm all ears." "First I'm going to tell you about your mother. She hailed from a country called the Hidden Whirlpool Country. She had long red hair and was very tomboyish as a child, but when she grew up she became to be known for her use of ninjutsu. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki, and there were certain things about her that not many people knew of." "That being?" Naruto inquired. "It was that she descended from the Rakuto Sennin who possessed the Rinnegan." "Rinnegan?" Sparta nodded. "Yes, you see, there are 3 great dojutsu in the world, with the Rinnegan, the Sharingan, and the Byakugan. The Rinnegan allows who's wields at all 6 elemental chakras and are able to learn practically any jutsu they want. Your mother was a master of this before she died." Naruto was surprised to learn that he had a bloodline from his mother. "How did she die?" "Giving birth to you, but when I tell you this doesn't mean it is true. She went through labor like any other normal woman would, and for her to die giving birth raised questions because she was healthy, but the fact is no one knows what happened." Naruto clenched his fists so tight his knuckles turned white. "So my mother might have been murdered." "Correct, but that's all I can say. You'll have to figure out the truth on your own," Sparta stated. The young boy's shoulders slumped. "Anything else?" "Now comes the part of your father." Naruto instantly perked up. "Since I'm here in the Yondaime's head." "Yeah, I kinda figured that. The Yondaime is my old man." "Yes, but tell me, how long have you known?" "For a long while. Come on, the similarities are remarkable between us. I just don't say anything because that would only cause more problems for me." "I see. Well, let me explain about your father's side. You see, Naruto, to put it short, I'm a demon, and to be specific, a demon knight. I fought against my own kind for the sake of the humans, and was able to seal away the demon realm from anyone who wished to use its power. When I came to the human realm I began my own family. I could have started a clan, but I knew that if I did then our power would have been sought out by many, so I kept a low profile. I ended up having 2 sons named Virgil and Dante. Virgil died saving Dante from a demon attack, but Dante lived out his normal life and had a son, your father." "How come no one knew of my father being part demon?" Naruto asked. "The only ones who knew were Sarutobi and Jiraiya of the Sannin, as well as your mother, and no one else. I guess Sarutobi kept it from you in fear of what you might do to the village should your demon powers had ever awoken. So what does being part demon from you entitle me?" "Well, for starters you will have enhanced strength and speed as well as agility, reflexes, and senses. your healing ability will also be enhanced to the point you can get stabbed in the heart and still live. You will also have natural combat prowess to use any weapon and fight any way. But your greatest power is your devil trigger, which will allow you to transform for a period of time into your demon form, vastly enhancing your abilities. The blonde let out a huge sigh. So what happens now? Simple, you take what is yours. These swords are yours. The oak katana is Yamato filled with Virgil's power, and the large sword is my own called Force Edge containing both my and Dante's power. I don't know what will happen when you gain all of that power, so you'll have to find out. Naruto ran a hand through his hair. I understand. Thanks Sparta for telling me this. Yes, now go, Sparta said before he vanished. Now Naruto stood in the room with only himself and the swords as well as his amulets. Well, no time like the present, he said, and strode over to Yamato and Force Edge. He reached out and grasped both handles and pulled the blades out. The two swords glowed with Yamato in blue light and Force Edge in a purple light. The whole room was then filled with both lights, and when the lights died down, the lights formed around Naruto and dissipated. When it was over, Naruto looked around and noticed that his eyesight became much sharper, that he could make out the slightest detail in the room, and his sense of smell and hearing was also increased to where he could smell the stale air and hear the subtle sounds of wind blowing through the tunnels. He did look normal, but his hair now had traces of his father's with 2 long strands on each side of his face. His eyes were still blue but much darker, like navy blue, and his pupils were now slits. His eyes then changed to a ripped-like pattern with a purple-grayish tint to them. He exhaled heavily. What a rush, he said laughing, and then picked up his amulets and put them around his neck and left the room, and as he did it sealed up again. I wonder if Pops left me anything, he wondered, and then left. He knew where the Namake's house was, since he would always walk by it and see the symbol of the Namake's family on the gate, and made his way towards it. The ninja world would be changed as a legend was now born. The bright yellow blonde made his way to his dad's home. Since it was night, there was no one out on the streets to see him where he was going. He eventually came to a rather large house. It wasn't as big as the clan houses like the Uchiha or the Hyuga, but it was big in terms of a man who was once Hokage. It was large, with 2 floors with a rather large yard. There was a fence divided it from the street, and Naruto noted that there was a powerful barrier on the fence, not only in front of it but all around it, to keep anyone from getting in. He took his amulet off as he saw that it was glowing and placed it at the fence gate, and glyphs appeared on the gate and disappeared. He then opened the fence and walked in as the glyphs reappeared on the fence to keep up the protection. He walked through the yard, seeing weeds growing everywhere as well as vines growing on the house. The house itself was still in rather good shape, but at the same time was looking rather run down. The yard was filled with weeds and the house had loose roof tiles and everything else was dusty. He walked up to the door and turned the knob and pushed the door open with the creaking sound ringing through the empty house. When he stepped in, he saw the entire house was bathed in darkness, making it hard to see. He saw a lamp nearby and turned it on, allowing the light to fill the room. He then saw dust covered everything and spider webs were formed on furniture as well as everywhere else. With nothing else better to do, he decided to do some exploring to see what was in the house. In the living room, it had what other houses would have. It had a single large couch that wrapped around like a U with a table in the center. He quickly looked over the kitchen, having the basic necessities like a stove, oven, refrigerator, and other things. He then moved on, finding 4 rooms, and eventually came to one room and walked in. He saw the room had baby toys all around the room with a crib against the wall. The walls were blue with other things being white. There was no doubt he walked into what was going to be his room. He walked over to a small toy frog stuffed animal and picked it up. He blew the large blanket of dust off it and smiled. He then set the frog down and walked out. He then walked to a room across from his and went inside. It was the master bedroom, as it had a large king-sized bed with 2 dressers and a single large closet. He walked over to one of the dressers and picked up a dusty picture. He examined it, seeing several people in it. There was his father smiling brightly with his arm around his mother, who was obviously pregnant. Next to his father was a man with long spiky white hair with a metal plate with the kanji 4 oil on it, and next to his mother was Sarutobi. Smiling again, he set the picture down and explored the house some more. He came to the library, and it was filled with hundreds of books and scrolls. He saw that everything was organized to history, to clans, and even to jutsu from basic academy level to S-ranked. Leaving the library, he moved on to other rooms. He found the house had a sauna and a weapons room complete with all kinds of weapons from different types of kunai to different types of swords. He then found the house had an underground room, so he made his way to it. When he walked inside, he found it was a training room with a large sparring mat, fake rock walls of different formations, sparring posts, a pit with wooden poles in them, and a deep pool. All in all, it was a perfect training room. But he felt a strange presence, so he made his way to a wall that had a picture of a dragon on it, and placed his hand on it. The wall slid open and he stepped inside, feeling the demonic essence that filled the room. He looked around and only said one thing: "Whoa." The room had things that others would consider demonic in all sense of the word. He also saw weapons that appeared to be demonic as well. But what really caught his attention was a wall where what looked like relics. Amazing, aren't they? Naruto heard and instantly turned, seeing Sparta hovering behind him. "What are they?" Naruto asked. "Relics or treasures of sorts. You see, most clans have a jutsu or a bloodline that is the pride of them, like the Sharingan to the Uchiha and the Byakugan to the Hyuga. These are the pride of the Namikes. I collected these many years ago, items from Devil May Cry series. Why are you showing me these?" Naruto inquired when Sparta finished. "If you are going to live here, you must understand what these are. These are your birthrights, so you have to understand what they are," Sparta answered. Naruto nodded. "Okay, please continue. Key items from Devil May Cry series. Wow, so why did you keep them?" Naruto asked. "Well, if you go to certain places you want to have something to remember it, so I sealed the demon realm away they wouldn't miss them," Sparta laughed. Naruto laughed a bit as well. "That's true." He then turned to 31 relics on another wall. "What are those?" "Dante's Inferno relics. Those are things I gathered when I traversed the circles of hell. Now before we move on, I will show you 2 more things," Sparta said and waved his hand, and 2 more things appeared from the floor. One was a silver cross. That was a cross that emitted powerful holy magic. Then he pointed to a scythe with the main handle looking like a human spinal column, and where the blade was were skulls at the base of it. "That is the scythe of death himself." "Okay, Sparta, that is great and all, but don't you think I should start training to control my powers?" Naruto asked. Yes indeed. Meet me in the library," Sparta said before vanishing. Naruto made his way to the library where Sparta was hovering. He was in the section of sword styles. "Now to begin your training. Bring the scrolls about the 7 forms of combat, and the scroll for the shadow clone jutsu." "Damn, what am I, a slave?" Naruto sighed and did what he was asked to do. When he went back to the training room, he set the scrolls down. "Okay, the sword styles I understand, but why the shadow clones?" "The shadow clone jutsu is a very useful jutsu if it is used properly. Unlike other clones, shadow clones are solid clones that can help in fighting. But the drawback is that divides the chakra of the user amongst the other clones, which is why it is forbidden, but you don't have to worry with all the chakra you have. The benefit from the clones is that whatever the clones learn, when they are dispelled you learn what they did, so it helps in training. You can get years' worth of training in just months." The blonde demidemon understood. "Okay, now about the sword styles." "Yes, you see, my sword style was very complex, so I broke it down to 7 different forms. Each form is focused around a certain aspect. Each form can be learned without having to learn every style, but if one learns all of them, then they know my sword style," Sparta explained. Putting each scroll in order, he explained. Form 1 is the determination form, which gives the basics and fundamentals. Form 2 is the contention form, which introduces sword-to-sword fighting and giving the ability to attack or defend with little effort. Form 3 is the resilience form, centers around defense and deflecting projectiles from multiple directions. Form 4 is the aggression form, which centers around offense, attacking at high speeds and all angles. Form 5 is the perseverance form, and it allowed one to redirect attacks back to an attacker. Form 6 is the moderation form, was a form balancing out the strengths of the others. Finally, Form 7 is the ferocity form, which all-out aggression and fighting at tremendous speeds. Naruto was surprised. "I see, so when can we get started?" "First learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu and Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, and we will go from there," Sparta said and vanished. Naruto shrugged his shoulders and opened the scroll containing the jutsu and began learning. After a few hours he managed to have the jutsu down, and then Sparta appeared. "Good, now that you know the Shadow Clone Jutsu, we will get started." "What do you want me to do?" Naruto asked. "Create 100 clones for each style except the 7th, and have them practice until I say stop," Sparta answered. Naruto nodded and formed a cross sign with his hands. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Then 600 Naruto clones appeared. "Okay, 100 of you take a scroll and start learning." And so the clones of Naruto took a scroll and began learning what they needed. After a few hours, Sparta decided to stop them. "Okay, Naruto, that's enough for now. Dispel the clones and let's see what happens." Naruto then dispelled all the clones and the effects were immediate. His eyes rolled back and he fell backwards knocked out. Oops, I guess I should have told him about the after effects. A few minutes later Naruto woke up. Well, what the hell happened? Oh, that's my bad. You see, yes, you learn what the clones do, but I forgot to mention that if you dispel too many of the clones that leads to overaccumulation of knowledge leading to blackouts. Now you tell me, Naruto groaned. He then summoned Yamato and a clone. Okay, let's see what I learned. The two clones began attacking each other and Sparta noticed a vast improvement, but still needed refining. A little wet behind the ears, but we can work on it, Sparta commented. Anyway, let's keep working, there are still many things for you to learn, he said. Naruto was in for hellish training. Time skip. It had been 4 months since Naruto began his training by Sparta and already his skill was remarkable. Once he mastered the first 6 forms of combat he moved on to the 7th, and it didn't take long for him to learn and master that form as well. After he learned sword fighting he began using every weapon the house had and trained with them until he had mastered them to an extent. After learning weapons he began training in his Rinnegan and learned 2 jutsu from them, being a powerful shockwave jutsu called Shinra Tensei, and the other was Banzho Tenin, which pulled things towards him. He climbed the walls using only his hands, and each time he did he added weight and began doing it one-handed or only his hands. Then he moved to the columns and moved from one to another while clones hit him with staffs. Right now he sat in the middle of the training ring and concentrated. He snapped his eyes and then clapped his hands together. Then in front of him 5 spheres appeared with each one representing wind, lightning, fire, earth, and water. As he concentrated the spheres began to spin faster and faster, and then 5 more spheres appeared, this time vertically, and they were just about formed when both broke away. Damn, still don't have it, he cursed. Don't worry, you'll get it soon enough, Sparta said. Besides, with the training you went through there aren't many who might be able to defeat you. Also, the academy graduation is coming up, don't you think you should check it out to see who graduates? I don't know. I've read about every ninja that needs to be read about, but one that caught my attention was the one called Mizuki. He's a teacher, but I think he aims for something more due to the way he acts, so I'll keep my eyes open for him, Naruto said as he stood up to get cleaned up. During his breaks he read files about all the clans and what they specialized in as well as key members from each. After knowing everything he needed from Konoha, he moved on to the other villages from Suna to Kumo, and the smaller ones as well, like Amekigure. Naruto finished, and now he decided to do his monitoring of the village. Time skip. It was the day of the graduation of the academy, and Naruto made his way to it, and secretly watched everyone take the exam. He noticed children from every major clan in the village. Like Sasuke Uchiha, the last remaining one ever since his brother Itachi killed them all. He was antisocial and brooding, but still every female their age liked him. Then there was Kiba Inuzuka, the son of Tsum Inuzuka, the head of the Inuzuka clan. On his head was his dog Akamaru, who was always with him. He was arrogant and cocky and like Sasuke, thinking he could beat anyone, and he was someone he didn't like. Shikamaru Nara was from the Nara clan who controlled shadows, and his laziness was a big problem despite his great intelligence. Choji Akimichi of the Akimichi clan, who could expand their body parts, was a glutton who could never stop eating. Shino Aburaim of the Bug User clan was very stoic and rarely spoke unless he needed. The guy was like a robot. Of the females, the only notable ones were Sakura Haruno, Ino Yamanaka, and Hinata Hyuga. Sakura Haruno was a pink-haired girl with tremendous book smarts, but beyond that nothing special. Ino Yamanaka was from the body and mind-controlling Yamanaka clan, who was slightly more rounded in terms of fighting but also worried more about looks than training. Finally, Hinata Hyuga was from the prestigious Hyuga clan, but despite that she was very shy and timid and the only female their age who didn't like Sasuke. Naruto watched as each student did their exam, and those who passed received their headband. After it was done he remained behind, seeing only Irika Yumino and Mizuki the teachers talking and then leaving. He knew Irika was a nice guy, but Mizuki had a bad history, so he tailed him. As he did he heard Mizuki growl, "That damn fox couldn't become a ninja. If it did then it could have failed and I could have used him to get the scroll of sealing." "Now this is getting interesting," Naruto said lowly. If he wanted, he could have gone to the old man and told him about it, but he didn't want to take the chance him not believing him. "I guess I'll have to steal it myself. Orochimaru-sama will be pleased." Mizuki grinned evilly and made his way to the tower, never noticing Naruto behind him. A while later, Naruto noticed Mizuki come out of the tower and dashing into the forest with the large scroll behind him. The blonde trailed him and stopped when the rogue Chunin did. "Finally I have the scroll of sealing. With this I can become a god among ninja." Orochimaru-sama will give me tremendous power for this, and then I will rule this village. Oh really? Naruto said. Mizuki spun to see the blonde. Are you sure you're not an actor, because you could have passed for one? Mizuki's eyes narrowed in hatred. What are you doing here? He said, emphasizing you. I figure I go out for a little nighttime walk and I find an academy student stealing something of value from the village. Naruto answered casually. Yes, and if you don't leave, your walk will turn into your death. On second thought, to make sure you don't go blabbing, I'll just have to kill you now. The Chunin then pulled a scroll out and summoned 2 large shuriken out. He hurled back and threw one of them at the blonde. Naruto waited until the weapon was close enough, and at the last second he sidestepped it, and the shuriken flew past him into the forest. I hope you have more of those. I think you're going to need them. Mizuki growled. Lucky that is all, but I won't miss this time. He then threw the second one with all his might and watched as it got close to the blonde. Naruto yawned and simply caught the weapon. I think this is yours. He then threw the weapon back at him, cutting into his shoulder. Mizuki fell to a knee, clutching his bleeding shoulder, and decided to try something. Damn demon, tell me, do you know why you are hated? He said with a sadistic grin. That I contain the Kyuubi no Yoko inside me? Yeah, I know, Naruto clarified. He then held his hand out and summoned Yamato. Time to have my fun, he said, and made his way to Mizuki. He then held his hand up. Banho Tenin. Then Mizuki was pulled toward Naruto, who caught him by his neck. The Chunin's screams echoed through the forest, but no one ever heard him. When it was over, Naruto stood over the very bloody Mizuki. Feel lucky that I didn't kill you when I had the chance. All those cuts are non-lethal but very painful. Now I could take you to the hospital, but where's the fun in that? He remarked and threw an explosive tag into the air to give their position, and then stabbed Mizuki in the knee to keep him from leaving. Naruto took the scroll and left, leaving Mizuki to found by the searching ninja. Hokage Tower. Sarutobi was in his office waiting for his ninja to return with the scroll that was stolen. He rubbed his temples. How does one sneak into the tower and steal the forbidden scroll without alerting anyone? He kept ranting in his mind how easily something so important could be stolen. Then there was a knock at his door, and he heard it open. When he looked up, he saw Naruto. Naruto, as much as I would like to talk with you, there is a problem that I am dealing with. Oh, I know, and I took care of it, the blonde said, and tossed the scroll on the desk. Mizuki from the academy stole it, and before I caught him he spoke about Orochimaru. Sarutobi was shocked. How did you defeat Mizuki? He was a Chunin-level ninja. Naruto put a finger to his chin. How come you kept my heritage from me all these years? He countered, and he saw Sarutobi's shocked face. Sarutobi was sweating bullets. How could he have found out? He wasn't supposed to know until he was older. At least 16. I'm waiting, old man, Naruto pressed, crossing his arms. Sarutobi could see he couldn't fool Naruto anymore. If you're asking me this, then you know that the Yondaime was your father, and as such you know of his reputation during the Third Great Ninja War. He killed hundreds of IWA ninja, and to this day they still haven't forgotten that. If they found out that you were his son, they would send killer after killer here for you, or worse, staging a surprise attack on us. Naruto looked skeptical. Okay, so you don't tell the village, but my question was, why didn't you tell me? I mean, telling me couldn't have been so bad, could it? What did you expect me to do? Run around telling everyone that I was the Yondaime's son? Sarutobi looked down, giving his answer in silent. Wow, old man, you put faith in the village to follow you, and you can't put faith in me to keep a secret. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I felt that if no one knew of your heritage, then you might have been better off. When you were born and had the Kyuubi sealed inside you, I decreed that no one was allowed to speak about the fox, hoping that their kids wouldn't shun you as they did. Naruto sat down and propped his feet on the desk. Yup, and a lot of good that did. But Sarutobi did want to know. Tell me, how did you find out about your heritage? Naruto then summoned Yamato and Force Edge, shocking the Sandaime even further. He then pulled out his amulets. These reacted for some reason and led me to the monument where these swords were. The Spectre of Sparta, the first Namikaze, told me everything. After that I found my old man's house and I began training. I've already mastered weapon training, and I began working on my bloodline that my mother passed to me. As she had a bloodline? Yes, in fact I'll show you, Naruto said and revealed his Rinnegan. Sparta told me that not many knew of my mother's bloodline except for my father and his sensei. I've learned 2 jutsu from this and am working on elemental training. Sarutobi was floored. Naruto, if I knew you had such a powerful bloodline, I would have given you training years ago. Sorry, old man, but I only recently gained it, and besides I've been training in some of my father's jutsu. I've already learned the shadow clone jutsu and effects it has. Moving on. Do I get something for bringing in a traitor? Naruto inquired. Sarutobi smiled lightly. Just like your parents, I can pay for the trouble, and if you want and changed your mind I can make you a shinobi as well. The graduation is in a few days, so what do you say? Still persistent to make me a ninja, huh? Yeah, well, the pay is fine, and as for the shinobi thing, why not? I'll have all these abilities and no reason to use them. Sarutobi looked relieved and excited. Splendid. I will inform Iruka of your addition, and since the team selection is in a few days I will give you these few days to train. Naruto did the two-finger salute and dismissed his swords and left the office. Sarutobi looked at Minato's picture. Minato, he has finally begun down the path of the ninja. Your legacy will live on. Namikaze's house. Naruto returned home and went to the library and got scrolls for elemental jutsu for elements of fire, wind, water, and lightning. He then went to the training room and set the scrolls down. Then Sparta appeared. Well, then you have a few days, I take it. Naruto nodded. Yes, so I can train for my elements. Sparta agreed. Yes, so we'll start with the basics. First, in the water scroll are a list of jutsu to use, but you need to learn the basics first. Right, so Naruto opened the scrolls and began his training by using hundreds of shadow clones to shorten his time. He had already read through the jutsu library but didn't like the ones that were there, feeling they didn't belong to him. Ever since then he began training to create his own jutsu for the elements he needed. As he trained in his elements, he also trained more with his Rinnegan and swords. That night he showered and got ready for bed, and when he got in bed he started drifting off to sleep. But instead of dreaming, he found himself in a sewer with a long corridor. He heard a low growl that echoed through the sewer. He walked through it with the water around his ankles splashing with each step. He eventually came to a room with a large cage with a seal on it with the kanji 4 seal on it. Then a pair of red slit eyes and fangs appeared. So my container has finally shows himself. Naruto wasn't fazed. So you must be the Kyuubi. I must say I'm not impressed. Kyuubi growled. You dare mock me? You come from the Sparta bloodline, that accursed blood of a demon who betrayed his own kind, though I do have to say I'm impressed as you do come from the Rikudo Sennin with that mighty Rinnegan of yours. Are you going somewhere with this? Naruto said, bored. No, I'm just relating you to two powerful warriors. Tell me, do you wish to become more powerful? If so, then tear the seal from the cage and let me give you all of my power. If you do, then you will become a god among men. Sorry, but I don't want to become a god. Too much work. Besides, Sparta was much more powerful than you are, so I don't need your power, but then again this could help, Naruto said, and sent some of his own demonic chakra into the seal. What are you doing? Kyuubi tried fighting the chakra but couldn't. Then demonic chakra of Naruto pulled some of his own chakra out. When it was done, Naruto turned to leave. Don't worry, I simply combined some of your chakra with mine so my body can get used to it. Well, have fun doing nothing in the cage. Peace. Oh, and before I go, when I ask for your chakra you better give it to me. Think of it as your rent for being in my body. Then Naruto walked out, ignoring the roars of the Kyuubi. Time skip. When he woke up he realized it was the day of team assigning, so he cleaned up and grabbed his weapons before leaving the house, but not before sealing it up. He walked to the academy and went into the room that he was assigned to. He took his seat, and since no one was there he casually looked out the window and gazed up into the blazing sun. He wasn't paying attention but still heard the other students who passed come in and take their seats. After a bit he realized the entire class was full of all the students. But then his thoughts were interrupted when he heard an arrogant voice. Hey Naruto. He turned his head to see Kiba standing near him. Are you that big of an idiot that you forgot you aren't a ninja? This is a room for those who passed. And coming from a clan with enhanced senses, you should see the headband on my forehead, the blonde said, pointing to his headband. Kiba scoffed. Oh please, you expect any of us to believe that you're a ninja now? You didn't go through the academy like we all did. You failed twice, and that shows you have no talent to be a shinobi. He laughed, and some others did as well. Naruto casually grabbed a nearby book. Tell me, Kiba, do you like to read? Huh? What are you talking about? Naruto sighed. This is not multiple choice, just answer the question. Do you like to read? Not realizing what Naruto was getting at, he answered. Yeah, I like to read every now and then. Bam. The book Naruto had was thrown and hit Kiba right in the face. Then I think you might like that book. Everyone then laughed at the now humiliated Kiba. But before he could retaliate, Iruka came in. Okay, settle down. Hearing that, everyone took their seats and quieted down, and waited to hear what he had to say. Now everyone who is here has passed, and as such you are genin today. But Kiba, not over his humiliation, spoke, "But sensei, what is Naruto doing here? He can't have passed because he hasn't gone through the academy like we all have." Iruka sighed. "Kiba, Hokage-sama has given Naruto special permission to become a ninja, so there is nothing I can do." Kiba glared at Naruto and then sat down. Meanwhile, there was one person, as soon as he entered the class, was blushing up a storm. Her wide eyes never left his form. She was the one girl who actually liked him, Hinata Hyuga. "As I was saying, since you are all genin, you will be placed into teams of 3 that will be led by a jounin. The teams are formed based on stats to balance them out. So to begin with..." He began reading off the teams and then came to Naruto's name. "OK, Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno, and Sasuke Uchiha." The pink-haired fangirl jumped up and down, ranting on how true love prevails, while Naruto slammed his head on the table. "Team 8, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Shino Abirame," Iruka announced. Hinata looked sad. "I won't be with Naruto-kun." And finally Team 10, Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi, Iruka finished. "Those are the teams, so your senseis will be here shortly to pick you up. Good luck to all of you." When Iruka left, all the students waited, and soon after a while the leaders of each team showed up to pick them up. For Team 8 was a beautiful woman with red eyes and long dark hair. Then for Team 10 was a man with a beard and goatee and smoking a cigarette. Soon all the teams were gone, leaving only Team 7. About 2 hours later they were still there. "Damn it! Where is that sensei of ours?" Sakura screeched. Sasuke remained silent, thinking he was cool, while Naruto was plugging his pinky in his right ear. "Damn, do you have to yell so loud? It's not like our sensei is going to hear you." But then the doors slid open and a man with silver head hair and his headband over his left eye walked in. Then again, I could be wrong. "My first impression of you is, you're all idiots, so meet me on the roof," he said before disappearing. Without saying anything, the 3 made their way up to the roof. When they got there, they saw their sensei sitting on the railing. "Well, it took you long enough to get here, so let's begin. Let's start by introductions." Sakura quirked an eyebrow. "Huh, what do you mean, sensei?" Naruto snickered. "And they said you bookworms were smart." Sakura shot him a glare. The jounin shrugged. "You know, tell us your name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, and goals." "Well, why don't you go first to show us how it's done?" Sakura asked. "Well, okay. My name is Kakashi Hatake. I have many likes and dislikes. As for hobbies, I don't feel like telling you, and as for goals, I never really thought about it," he said, making Sakura's sweat drop. "The only thing we got was his name," she said. "Well, then I guess I'll go first. I'm Sakura Haruno and my likes are..." Looks at Sasuke while blushing, but then continued. "I dislike Ino Pig and Naruto, and my hobbies and goals are..." Looks at Sasuke again and squeals. A fangirl, great, but then again girls her age are worried more about looks than training, Kakashi thought and looked at Sasuke. "Okay, tall, dark and brooding, you next." Sasuke kept his hands crossed in front of his face. "I'm Sasuke Uchiha of the Uchiha clan." "What, no way? Really?" Naruto mocked, but Sasuke ignored him. "I have many dislikes and no likes. I have no hobbies, and my goal, know it, is ambition to kill a certain someone," he said darkly. "Well, no surprise there considering what happened. Okay, Spike, you last." "Well, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I like eating and training. I dislike assholes and pricks, and my goal is to become Hokage." That's good. He's more well-rounded than the others." "Okay, now we know each other, so now to explain the real test." Sakura was confused. "What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei? I thought that we already took the test to become genin." "True, you did, but that was only the first part. You see, of the 27 graduates, only 9 will become actual genin, while the rest go back to the academy. So this test will determine if you will actually become genin, and just so you know, the failure rate is at least 66%, Kakashi explained. Sakura gasped while Sasuke squeezed his hands so hard they shook, but Naruto looked totally calm. "So all of you meet me at Training Ground 7 at dawn, and don't eat anything or you'll puke," Kakashi instructed before vanishing. Naruto then stood up. "Well, I'm sick of this place and the people here, so see you tomorrow," he said before flipping over the railing to the ground and made his way home. Sakura looked at Sasuke. "Say, Sasuke-kun, would you like to go on a date?" "No," he said before leaving. Next morning, when Naruto woke up, he ate a rather big breakfast, wanting to see if Kakashi was bluffing. He then packed his things and made his way to the training grounds. Training grounds? When he got there, he saw Sasuke and Sakura already there and noticed that they looked hungry. Great, not even begun and already at a disadvantage, he lamented in his mind. About 2 hours later, Kakashi showed up. Sorry I'm late, a black cat crossed my path so I took the long way. Liar! Sakura screamed. Anyway, let's begin the test, Kakashi said and pulled out a clock. The timer is set till noon and here is what you will be getting. He then pulled out 2 bells and tied them to his belt. Now your job is to get these bells before noon. If one of you do, then you can rest until the test is over. If you don't, you get tied to one of those stumps over there, he said, pointing to 3 logs. And if you fail to get a bell, then you don't get to eat lunch and have to watch me eat mine. But sensei, there are only 2 bells. What happens to the third if we don't get a bell? Sakura asked. Simple, they will go back to the academy, Kakashi said simply. I have to get a bell, for love. I can get a bell, I'm an Uchiha. I wonder if they know the true meaning behind this. It is in his explanation. Kakashi pressed the clock. Okay, the test begins. Now. Then all 3 genin jumped into the forest. Kakashi looked around for a bit. Well, at least they have hiding down. Kakashi then began walking into forest to find the genin. Sakura hid in some bushes and Sasuke hid in a tree. Naruto kept moving, not wanting to stay in a single position for too long. He then created a dozen shadow clones to roam the area. He told to find the teammates of mine and inform them the test is about teamwork. The 2 clones nodded and ran off to do what they were told. He then felt the memories of a clone that was destroyed by Kakashi. So he instantly ran towards the water and jumped in, and thanks to his demon blood he could stay underwater for long periods of time. It wasn't long until he got the memories of these 2 clones. Sasuke said he didn't need his help and that as an Uchiha he would get a bell easily. Sakura said that he was a no-talent loser who didn't deserve to be a shinobi and that he didn't know anything and her Sasuke-kun would help her pass. Dumbass the both of them, he sighed in his mind. Meanwhile, Sakura was running through the forest trying to find Sasuke. I have to find Sasuke-kun to make sure he's alright. Ever since the clone of Naruto told her the truth, she didn't believe him and wanted to help Sasuke. But then she stopped in her tracks when she saw Kakashi. Good, he didn't see me, pissed Sakura. She heard a whisper. When she turned, she saw Kakashi behind her and did the rat sign. Then leaves swirled around her and her eyes drooped a bit. When it was over, she saw the Kakashi wasn't there. What just happened? She asked out loud, but then she heard Sasuke's voice. As Sakura. She quickly turned with a happy expression, but it vanished by what she saw. There was Sasuke bloody, missing his left arm, his right leg twisted behind him, and numerous weapons impaled in his body. Her eyes swelled with tears and she let out an ear-piercing scream before passing out. Nearby, Kakashi was reading his favorite book. I think I might have overdone it a bit, but she has to learn these things. He then set out to find the other 2. Sasuke heard Sakura's scream and went on the move. He eventually came to a clearing and found Kakashi there. The Jounin saw him and put his book away. Compared to the others, you're a bit different. I'm nothing like the others, Sasuke stated. He then threw a kunai, but Kakashi jumped away. Sasuke, however, threw another that cut a rope, sending more kunai at Kakashi, who also dodged those. Then Sasuke appeared in front of Kakashi and threw a kick, but it was blocked, and then grabbed. Sasuke twisted and threw a punch, but that was also blocked. Sasuke then used his other leg to deliver another kick, but that was blocked. Sasuke smirked as Kakashi was now preoccupied, leaving the bells wide open. He reached out and Kakashi's eye widened, and as soon as Sasuke's finger grazed the bell, Kakashi separated, putting some distance between the 2. I think I'm going to actually have to put in some effort, Kakashi remarked to himself. Then Sasuke did some hand signs, Katan, fireball jutsu. He then took a deep breath. What a genin can't use fire jutsu. It takes too much chakra, Kakashi said in slight shock. Sasuke then blew out a ball of fire that engulfed Kakashi. When the flames died down, Sasuke didn't see Kakashi there. What the, where is he? Above. But then his answer came when he felt his ankles get grabbed and he was pulled into the ground up to his neck. Not bad, but you still have a ways to go, Doton. Headhunter jutsu, he said, his eye smiling. He then turned to go find the remaining genin. Naruto continued hiding in the water waiting for Kakashi to show up. He had a general plan to go with, but right now he was playing by ear. He felt Kakashi getting closer by his chakra. The said Jounin made his way where he felt a very faint chakra signature but couldn't tell where it was. I don't know what his abilities are, but he did fail twice, but then again he is Sensei's kid, he commented. Then 3 shurikens shot out from the water right at his head, but he ducked under them and they flew by. The water, huh? He can sure hold his breath for a while. but then he heard 3 pops and the shuriken turned into Naruto clones who threw more kunai at him. He then jumped into the air, and when he looked into the water he saw Naruto under it with his hand out. He saw the bubbles leave his mouth indicating he spoke, and then Kakashi felt like he was being pulled towards the water. What kind of jutsu is this? Kakashi wondered, but then he shot into the water. Due to the force he fell and he couldn't get his bearings just yet, but when he regained his composure in the water he went to the surface to get a breath. When he did, he noticed Naruto standing on the ground. Well, that was a unique jutsu you just used. Like I did with Sasuke, I might have to try. Naruto ran forward and threw a punch, but Kakashi sidestepped it, but Naruto pivoted in midair to deliver a kick, but Kakashi blocked it. Naruto slammed his palm to the ground and aimed his other Shinra Tensei. Then Kakashi was blasted back but flipped in mid-air and landed on his feet. From 2 gravity-based jutsu, one that attracts and one that repels. There is no one in the village that knows those kind of jutsu, so where did he learn them? Kakashi thought. Naruto then summoned Yamato, but since Kakashi never saw the blade before he didn't know it was Minato's. He's also a sword user? Damn, he is surprising. Naruto shot forward and swung the katana across his body, but Kakashi ducked. But Naruto swung the sheath and hit the jounin in the face, knocking him off balance. Naruto shot forward again, but Kakashi pulled 2 kunai out and crossed them to block Naruto's downward strike. The blonde attempted to pull the sword free, but Kakashi kept it locked in place, so Naruto jumped back, kicking Kakashi in the stomach and then in the face. Damn, if this keeps up I might actually have to use it, Kakashi noted to himself. You sure are good for a jounin, but I get the feeling that you are holding back, but then again this is a test. You're doing well yourself. For a genin to actually get a few hits on me is rather amazing, Kakashi replied. Naruto didn't say anything but tossed Yamato at the jounin, who wondered what he was doing. But his mistake was that he focused more on the sword and never saw Naruto charge him until it was too late. Naruto ran past the sword with 2 kunai drawn and swung them down, but Kakashi was able to backstep for the 2 knives to impale the ground, but Naruto flipped over using the kunai as bases and axe kicked Kakashi, who blocked it. He then twisted to where the bells were, just when his hands were about to enclose on the bells. Ring! Naruto stopped and flipped to his feet. Looks like time is up, Kakashi said. When it was over, the 3 genin met at the logs where Naruto was tied up. Okay, Cyclops, tell me, why am I the one tied up? He asked, annoyed. Because it's funny, now the test is over and no one was able to get a bell, so I've made my decision, Kakashi said. So we get to become genin? Sakura said, excitement in her voice. Here it comes, Naruto said. No, you're all being dropped from the program. Sakura gasped and Sasuke looked outraged while Naruto laughed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, you've been a great crowd. Why? So what if we didn't get a bell? We tried our hardest. Sakura screamed. Oh, did you? I'm a jounin for a reason and I always knew where you were, but I let you think I didn't. I knew that Naruto sent clones to tell you the meaning of the test. None of you alone could be able to get a bell, but if you all tried then you might have gotten them. That means the test was about teamwork, Naruto revealed. Exactly, he knew what it was, but you two didn't, so that is why you fail, Kakashi said. Sasuke then in a fit of anger charged, but was soon found face down with Kakashi sitting on top of him with his arm pinned behind him. This is what I mean. You, Sasuke, think that your teammates would slow you down and won't accept their help, and you, Sakura, you are so caught up with Sasuke that you didn't even accept Naruto's help when he offered. Sakura remained silent, as did Naruto. Arrogance and foolishness. These are things that lead to failed missions and the death of a teammate. Missions are carried out in teams. Sure, you need your own special talents, but teamwork is the key. But then Sakura realized, but there were only 2 bells. Even if 2 of us managed to get them, then one would be left out, and that would lead to breakup of the team. I know I purposely pitted you against each other. I wanted to see if you would put your teammates ahead of yourselves. If foolish decision leads to a capture, then this could happen. Kakashi pulled a kunai out and held it to Sasuke's neck. Sakura, kill Naruto or Sasuke dies. Sakura looked horrified and looked back and forth to Naruto and Sasuke several times. If a teammate is captured, then it can lead to a difficult decision. He then pointed to the memorial stone. On that stone is list of all the heroes of the village you died in battle. Anyway, I will give you one last chance. You have 4 hours to get a bell, but you don't get to eat. Then Kakashi vanished. Okay, now that we got that taken care of, Naruto said as the ropes fell to the ground. He then went to his bag and pulled out 3 bento boxes. Eat up, he said, tossing 2 of them to his teammates. But Kakashi-sensei said not to eat, Sakura said. Do you want us to fail? Sasuke agreed with the blonde. Naruto's right. If we eat then we'll have energy to try and take the bells, he said and opened his bento and began eating. Boom! There was a small explosion and Kakashi sprang through the dust. I thought I told you not to eat. You would disobey my orders, he shouted. Yeah, because we are a team and break the rules together then we fail together, Naruto said calmly. Well then you all pass, Kakashi said in a lighter tone. Sasuke and Sakura were confused while Naruto rolled his eyes. You see, everyone else that was assigned to me always followed my orders and never thought for themselves or the team, so that is why I always failed them. There is a code that those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon a friend are worse than trash. Okay, tomorrow Team 7 begins missions, he said holding his thumbs up. Sasuke and Sakura looked like they actually accomplished something while Naruto sighed and began walking with them back to the village, Naruto's home. When he got home he practiced in creating his own brand of jutsu, but he felt a presence at the gate, so he grabbed Force Edge and headed out. Outside he snuck out to see what was happening and found an ANBU touching the wall and trying to find a way in. Naruto jumped on top of a building and unraveled a thing of wire and made a rope out of it. He threw the wire and got it around his neck and pulled him away and up. He then tied the wire to a pipe and jumped to eye level of the ninja. Who are you? Naruto demanded. An ANBU, the ninja said with no emotion. No name, huh? Well then why are you here? This house belongs to the Yondaime Hokage and I was ordered to find out why you were living there. Now that is something else. I don't think anyone else knows about me living here except Old Man Hokage, so who sent you? Naruto then pressed Force Edge to the man's throat. Danzo-sama, the ninja said. Naruto then saw on the man's mask any on it. I see, well then. Naruto then cut the man's right arm off. You are coming with me. He then let the man down and dragged him to the tower. Hokage Tower? Sarutobi was doing some leftover paperwork when the door was kicked open and he saw Naruto walk in dragging an ANBU behind him. Old man, some guy named Danzo ordered this ANBU to try and sneak into my home. Sarutobi gritted his teeth. I see, well then I think this merits a council meeting, he said and had one of his own ANBU called the council. Council chambers. The council comprised of the clan heads and the advisors Hamura, Koharu, and Danzo. When the council was summoned, Sarutobi walked in. What is the meaning of this sudden meeting, Sarutobi? Hamura asked. It has come to my attention that you, Danzo, ordered an ANBU to sneak into someone's home, Sarutobi accused. The Warhawk remained calm. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't ordered anyone to such a thing. Well then may I call the person who reported it? Then the door opened and Naruto walked in with the ANBU dragged behind him. What are you doing here? This is a council meeting, so leave, monster, Koharu sneered. Actually I'm the one whose house this walking diaper stain tried breaking into, Naruto answered simply, throwing the agent in front of him. Impossible, that house belongs to the Yondaime Hokage. Why would a demon like you be living there? Hamura snarled. Then Sarutobi interjected, because it is his inheritance. Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze, he revealed simply. That caused an uproar to those who didn't like Naruto, mainly Hamura, Koharu, and Danzo, who didn't hate him but viewed him as a weapon. Impossible. There's no way he is the son of the Yondaime, Hamura argued. Yes, where is the proof? Koharu shouted. The proof is in my looks, asswipe. My old man and I have the same hairstyle, color, and eye color. Coincidence? I think not, Naruto said. Watch your tongue, demon. You are in the presence of the council, Hamura said. Naruto ignored him and turned to Danzo. On another note, you mind telling me why this ANBU here tried breaking into my home? I questioned him about your, but there is a seal on his tongue apparently preventing him from speaking anything else about you. Yes, Danzo, since he is a Northeast operative, and I ordered you to disband it, didn't I? Sarutobi pressed. Shit, I can't do anything else now, but I'll bend the truth. Fine, yes, I ordered him to find out why the boy is living in the Namikaze home. I don't think it is safe for the village for this thing to live there, what with all the vast knowledge that is stored away there. I wanted to make sure the knowledge was safe, that is all, Danzo said. He knew he would be in trouble, but Hamura and Koharu usually sided with him, and could keep the punishment light. Anyway, Sarutobi, who did Minato-sama marry if he did to have this thing? Koharu said, glaring at Naruto. I advise that if you keep calling Naruto a thing, then you will face the punishment. To answer your question, Minato married Kushina Uzumaki from the Whirlpool village, Sarutobi answered. I say this boy be removed from the house. He is son of a woman who is not from our village, Danzo said. Good thing I don't care what you say in this matter of shinobi, and as such falls under my command. I have the records of Minato and Kushina's marriage which was witnessed by Jiraiya, so there is no disputing it, Sarutobi countered. If Hokage-sama has the records, then we can't dispute the matter, Suminazuka said. Inochi agreed. Yes, until evidence arises we cannot do anything. Most if not all the clan heads like Naruto, and usually helped him through the shadows. Naruto gazed at Danzo. I was easy on your man today, but know this, if I find any more of these men trying to break into my home, I will see to it they are dealt with permanently. If that is all, I think I'll be leaving now. Saying that, Naruto turned and walked out of the room. Sarutobi then gazed at Danzo. And Danzo, should you continue with your shadow operations, I will see to it you are thrown in jail for the rest of your natural life, and I don't care if you are a part of this council, Sarutobi threatened. Then he too stood up and left the room. Then one by one the council members left until only Danzo remained. He moved his hand up and pulled his bandage up, revealing a Sharingan. We shall see who will be dealt with permanently, boy. You may be the Yandame's son, but you don't know his jutsu. Once I eliminate you, I will have the vast treasure inside that house, and then I will assume the role of Hokage for myself, and this village will be under my grasp. He pulled his bandage back down and then left. The poor delusional fool. Ever since Team 7 began, their missions were shit. The missions for newly appointed genin were chores. They ranged from pulling weeds to helping elderly villagers with their grocery shopping and even babysitting. Naruto didn't particularly like doing these missions as he felt they were a waste of time. Sometimes when he didn't like to go on a mission, he would simply have a clone replace him. While he did, he would train more to develop his jutsu. Right now the three genin shot through the forest. Naruto here. I'm at point A, he radioed in. Sakura at point B. Sasuke at point C. Okay, everyone take it slow, Kakashi ordered. The three genin saw their target. Distance is 2 meters. Just give the signal, Naruto said. Okay, now. When they shot out, the target took off. The three of them chased after it. Sakura 5 meters up ahead and turn left, Naruto ordered. He then pulled several kunai out and threw them in a line on the ground, making the target turn left. Sakura throw 2 shuriken in front of it. The pink-haired girl did so, and the target stopped. Naruto used that moment to grab the target. Mission complete, he said. Okay, confirm ribbon on right ear, Kakashi said. Roger, ribbon of right ear, Sasuke radioed back. Okay, mission to capture lost pet cat Tora complete, Kakashi said. Naruto noticed the cat getting irritated. Oh, Sasuke here. He then tossed the feline at the Uchiha, and when it landed the cat began clawing the boy, with Sakura trying to get him off her crush. Hokage Tower. They came to the tower where they were greeted with Tora. Then a large woman snatched the cat from Sasuke's arms and began squeezing it for dear life. Damn cat needs to put down for causing this much trouble, Naruto thought. Sarutobi sat at the main table with Iruka helping discuss missions, and after the daimo's wife paid and left, Sarutobi said, Okay, Team 7 mission complete. Now here is a list of a few potential missions. You can help carry groceries, babysit some toddlers, help plant some crops. But before he went on, Sakura cut in. Old man, I say we get better missions than this. These aren't missions. These are manual labor. Iruka shot to his feet. You dare demand a better mission? You are genin fresh from the academy and not ready to do a higher mission. Who cares? I'm an Uchiha. There is no mission beyond my abilities, Sasuke said arrogantly while Sakura sighed dreamily at him. While modest much? What do you think? Naruto asked. Kakashi, said Jounin sighed. I think I'm not going to hear the end of this. Then both Iruka and Sarutobi smirked. Okay, you know what, I'll give you a C-ranked mission. It's a protection mission. You can come in now. Then the door opened and an old man came in who was rather drunk due to the sake he had in his hand. What is this? I ask for ninja and I get the circus. I mean the brooder with the head of duck's ass. The girl has pink hair. Enough said. And the blonde kid looks like an animal. Sakura looked ready to kill and wanted to maul the old man, but was being restrained by Kakashi, and Sasuke inched his hand to his kunai holster while Naruto remarked, Old man, I thought this was a protection mission, not a get drunk with an old man mission. The old man growled, You brat, I'm Tazuna the great bridge builder. Wow, so you can make things with cards? I'm not impressed, Naruto egged. Tazuna reared his sake bottle back. Now Naruto, no more mocking the client. If you accept this mission, you are to protect him all the way to his village in the Wave Country, and stay there until he completes the bridge he is building, Sarutobi explained. Kakashi pulled his book out. Okay, we'll take the mission, he said. Then they all left to get ready for the mission. When they left the tower, Sasuke stopped Naruto. Hey Dobe, many people in the village say you live in house. I thought you lived in an apartment. What's it to you? You have a compound to yourself, Naruto retorted. Naruto Baka, don't talk to Sasuke-kun like that, Sakura yelled. It is just that they say you live in the house of the Yondaime Hokage. Sasuke pressed, wanting to know the truth. If that's true, why are you living there if it belongs to the Yondaime Hokage? Sakura added, now curious. Naruto ignored them. The truth is… Oh, what the hell am I thinking? Fuck off, I have to get ready for the mission. He then walked to his house. Sasuke stood there. If you do live in the Yondaime's home, then I will get the secrets inside, he thought with a smirk. Village gates. Later everyone had packed and met up at the gates. Sakura and Sasuke were first to show, and then Tazuna, and then Kakashi and Naruto arrived last. Okay, now that we're all here we can move out. Assume a circle around Tazuna. Sasuke left, Sakura the front, Naruto right, and I'll take the rear. That sounded wrong on so many levels, Naruto commented. You know what I meant, so get to it, Kakashi huffed. Yeah, make sure you protect me because I want to make it back to my country in peace, Tazuna grumbled. No one said anything as they all assumed their positions and began their mission out of the village. Sasuke and Sakura were in their own little worlds and failed to notice a small puddle they all walked by, but Kakashi and Naruto did. Either made any notion about it until they passed it. Then the puddle rippled and out from the water two masked ninja with the headband of Kiri on it rose up. Each had a large clawed gauntlet on opposite arms. They both charged and separated, and attached to their gauntlets was a spiked chain. They quickly went for Kakashi and wrapped the chain around him. He gasped at the sudden attack and was soon trapped. Do it, one of the ninjas said coldly. Then the two pulled their ends of the chain, and the result was Kakashi being torn into shreds. One down, the other said. Then they both made their way towards Tazuna. But Sasuke jumped into the air and pulled a kunai and shuriken out. He first threw the shuriken in, which hit the chain and pinned it to a tree. He then threw the kunai, and it struck the hole in the center. The two pulled. I can't get loose, one said. Sasuke landed on their gauntlets, and then kicked both ninjas in the chin while holding their arms. The result was the chain breaking. The two ninja instantly forgot about it, and dashed in two different directions, with one going towards Tazuna, and the other going to Naruto. The ninja thrusted his claw forward, but Naruto summoned Yamato and parried the attack, knocking the claw away. He then jumped and kicked the ninja into a tree. The other ninja went for Tazuna, but Sakura pulled a kunai out and readied herself. Get behind me. Then in front of her appeared Sasuke with his arms wide open, acting like a human shield. Bam! But before the ninja could strike, Kakashi appeared and slammed his arm into the ninja's head so hard it knocked him out. What the? Kakashi-sensei? Sakura said, confused. She then looked to where he was shredded and saw logs there. The substitution jutsu. Excellent job, Sasuke, very smooth. Now where is the other one? Kakashi said, and turned and saw the second one face down and out cold with Naruto sitting on him. I wondered if you saw it, the blonde remarked. Sasuke, Sakura, and Tazuna were confused by what he said but remained silent while Kakashi tied the two ninja to a tree. When they came to the one on the right, said, How did you know we were there? Kakashi shrugged. Easy, the puddle gave it away. Everyone except Naruto was confused. It hasn't rained in weeks and it is way too hot for water to form. The two ninja looked like they were just kicked in the nuts. Now tell us why you are here, Kakashi demanded, taking a step forward. Kakashi got nowhere with the ninjas, so he turned to Tazuna. Okay, you have some explaining to do, the bridge builder gulped. The mission was for us to escort you to your country and protect you while you finish your bridge and from bandits and such. You never said anything about ninjas. If that was the case, we would have charged for a B or highest, an A-ranked mission. He then hung his shoulders and head. Okay, I'll confess, my village has hardly any money. In fact, most of it went towards this mission, so we could only afford a C-ranked. That is what the bridge is for. Once it is completed, it will bring life back into the village. Sakura stepped up. Tazuna-san, we're only genin, there's no way we can handle this. Kakashi pondered his options. We should really head back to the village for proper supplying, but the truth will be revealed and the man won't be able to afford a higher mission and he'll surely get killed. Without us, okay team, it's up to you. I say we got back to the village, Sakura said, clearly showing she wasn't up to it. I say we keep going, we're already on the mission, so no point in turning back, Sasuke said arrogantly. You're so right, Sasuke-kun, Sakura gushed. Naruto shook his head. Wow, first it's no and now yes, are you bipolar or something? Never mind, don't answer that. I don't want to hear bitching from you if I said no, so I'll go for pressing on. Kakashi turned to Tizuna. Well, it seems you have us for the duration of the mission. Then they all began their way to the wave country. Next time it'll be a jounin rank. I'll have to be ready. Unknown location. In a small building, a short man in a suit and sunglasses walked in. The demon brothers failed. You said they would get the job done. They were only the decoy to see how strong the team protecting were, a raspy-voiced man said. He was muscular and had no shirt, wore blue camouflage pants, and bandages around his face. He had his Kiri headband tied on his head but turned to the side. You better get the job done. I'm not paying you to fool around, the short man said, but then a huge cleaving sword was pointed at his face. Do you know who you are talking to? I'm Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist. I'll get the job done, he vowed. Wave country. The ninja team and the bridge builder were being ferried across the ocean by a boatman. So, old man, why is your village in such a bad state? Naruto inquired. He looked at him. A few years ago the village used to be normal, but then Gato showed up. The name got Kakashi's attention. Gato, the shipping merchant? He's just a simple businessman. Tizuna shook his head. No, on the outside he acts like he does everything legitimately, but in reality his shipping company is a front for smuggling illegal goods and dealing drugs. He isolated the country when he took over and prevented free import and export. So that's why you lied about the mission, Sakura said obviously. Yes, I'm building the bridge to bring life back to the country, and Gato doesn't like anyone standing up to him. The bridge is our hope and dreams, and I will do whatever I can to complete it. Then, to avoid detection, they all remained silent and passed under the bridge that was unfinished and soon made it to land. After that they began on the trail to the village. As they walked, Naruto heard a rustling in the bushes nearby and threw a kunai in the direction, and soon the sound stopped, so he made his way over to see what made the noise. What they saw was a scared white rabbit with the kunai just above its head. Sakura got angry. Look at what you did, Naruto baka. She went to strike him, but he grabbed her wrist and continued to look at the rabbit. Both he and Kakashi thought the same thing. That rabbit's fur is white, but the climate here is hot, so the fur should be brown. That means it was raised indoors. But then Naruto's hearing picked up what sounded like branches being cut down. Everyone down! Then everyone fell to the ground as a huge sword flew over their heads and got stuck in a tree. Then the owner of the sword, Zabuza, appeared on the handle. Ah, the blonde one has excellent hearing to be able to hear my sword like that. When everyone got to their feet, Kakashi walked up. Well, if it isn't Zabuza Momochi of Kirigakure, so it is you who is after the bridge builder. So you know of me, huh? But then again, I know of you, Kakashi Hatake. You were in our bingo book back in Kiri, but to answer your question, yes, I am, so hand over the old man and I'll let you go, Zabuza offered once. Kakashi took several steps forward and put his hand on his headband. Sorry, I can't do that, and since I'm going to be fighting you, I'm going to have to need this. He then lifted his headband up, revealing a Sharingan in his left eye. Sasuke was utterly shocked. How does he have the Sharingan? That is bloodline from my clan. Zabuza smirked. Ah, the famous Sharingan. The dijutsu that allows one to copy any ninjutsu, genjutsu, or taijutsu perfectly. It is with that eye you were able to copy over 1,000 jutsu, giving you the name Copycat Kakashi. Last chance, so hand over the builder and maybe I'll let you go. Quickly form a ring around Tizuna, Kakashi ordered, and the genin all did so. I see, so that's how it is, huh? Zabuza then disappeared and then reappeared on the nearby body of water. Ninpo, hidden mist jutsu. Then the area was blanketed in a thick fog. Everyone keep your voices down. He is a master of the silent killing jutsu, so you'll be dead before you know it, Kakashi warned and started focusing his chakra. Then Zabuza's voice rang through the area. 8 points: heart, lungs, jugular, kidney, brain, spine, larynx, subclavian artery. Which one do I attack first? Kakashi answered by unleashing his own chakra with killer intent, but upon doing so freaked Sasuke out. So this is the battle between two jounin. The bloodlust is so much, I can't handle it. I have to. He moved his kunai towards him, but Kakashi calmed him down. Sasuke, don't worry, I'll protect you all with my life. I won't let my comrades die in battle. Trust me, he said, looking back with his eye smile. Think again, Zabuza said as he appeared between the genin and Tizuna. He reared back to swing his sword, but Kakashi was quick enough to quickly stab the Kiri ninja. But instead of blood came water, and soon Zabuza dissolved away in a heap of water. A water clone, Kakashi said in realization. Then Zabuza appeared behind him and was able to cleave Kakashi in two, but like him, Kakashi also fell away as water. Zabuza then felt the kunai at his neck. It's over. So you used a water clone as well, huh? Impressive, but we are just beginning. Zabuza again fell away into water. Look out! Sakura shouted. Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi again and swung his sword, but Kakashi ducked. Zabuza however spun around and kicked the Konoha ninja away. The mist demon pulled his sword free and dashed towards Kakashi but soon stopped. Makibishi spikes. Trying to slow me down, huh? Kakashi however surfaced from the water. This water is heavier than normal. This wasn't a good idea. Then Zabuza appeared doing some hand signs. Too slow. Suiton. Water prison jutsu. Then Kakashi was trapped in a sphere of water and was unable to move. Escaping to the water was a huge mistake. This may be water, but it's as tough as steel. Now that you are taken care of. Time to deal with the brats. He formed a sign, water clone jutsu. Then another clone formed from the water. You know, Kakashi, I find it cute those kids think they're ninja. Sakura in a moment of stupidity said, we are ninja. We have the headbands to prove it. Oh, that's funny. Zabuza grinned evilly and his clone slammed its foot into Sakura's gut, rocketing her away. Quick! Get the bridge builder and run. The clone can't get too far from the body, so use this time to get away. Kakashi commanded. Naruto didn't listen to him and instead summoned Yamato to his hand. Okay, since you have no eyebrows or any body hair for that matter, what stroke of swimming do you do? You know breaststrokers do it underwater and flyers do it with their hips. The kid a smartass. Zabuza laughed a bit. But still, kids will never grow up while they play ninja. When I was their age I already stained my hands with blood. What do you mean? Sakura stuttered as she got to her feet very slowly. Kakashi filled them in. Long ago in Kirigakure it was known as the Bloody Mist because the final graduation exam. Students who ate and trained together were forced to kill each other. 10 years ago the test changed because a young boy with no prior training killed all 100 students. It felt so good. Zabuza exclaimed with an insane look in his eye. Then his clone appeared and slammed his elbow down into Sasuke, making him spit blood. Then in an instant, Naruto appeared and swung Yamato down, locking blades with the clone. Sasuke took this time and rolled away. Now would be great, Sasuke! Naruto shouted. Sasuke nodded and pulled a shadow shuriken out and threw it past the two for the real Zabuza. So you aimed straight for my real body, huh? Good, but he caught it, but not good enough. Naruto however flipped over the clone, but not before slicing the head off. He then summoned a clone and held its hand out, and used the Shinra Tensei to blast the real one at tremendous speeds to Zabuza. He was shocked at the sudden burst of speed and noticed Naruto poised to cut his arm off. When Naruto swung down, Zabuza quickly pulled his arm away. Despite missing, Naruto kicked off of Zabuza and dove into the water. When he surfaced he saw the murderous glare he had and the Jounin readied the shuriken. But the weapon was stopped by Kakashi's hand and the gray-haired Jounin looked back at Zabuza with his own murderous glare. Nice job, Naruto, Kakashi praised. So I got distracted, Zabuza made an excuse. Don't kid yourself, you feared losing your arm and were forced to let go. Now your little jutsu won't work on me again. Zabuza said nothing, instead applied more pressure on the weapon, but Kakashi knocked it away. The two jumped away and when they landed started doing a long string of hand signs and then finished, Suiton. Water Dragon Jutsu. Then two water dragons rose from the water and attacked each other, but since they were equal in strength they cancelled each other out. The force caused a large wave that splashed onto land, and when the water died down everyone saw Kakashi and Zabuza locking blades. Zabuza then noticed, what is going on? Then they jumped away and Zabuza noticed Kakashi was doing the exact same thing he was doing. He's completely copying your moves? Kakashi finished. Zabuza began to freak. What? Can he read my mind? It makes you furious, doesn't it? Kakashi pressed. All you're doing is copying me like a monkey. You won't beat me with cheap tricks. They both said. Then Zabuza in a rage started doing some hand signs. Oh, just you wait. I'll make sure you never open that eye of yours ever again. When he finished he looked at Kakashi and noticed something. What the? He saw himself behind Kakashi. That is me. Is this a genjutsu? Then Kakashi finished the hand signs, Suiton, giant waterfall jutsu. Then a huge torrent of water blasted Zabuza into the forest with so much force trees were even uprooted. Zabuza stopped against a tree and groaned in pain as four kunai struck him over his body. Kakashi then appeaed above him. See, can you see the future? Yes, this is your last battle, he said, brandishing a kunai. Then 2 needles shot out and struck Zabuza in the neck, and he fell to the ground unmoving and not breathing. Then a masked ninja with a loose red robe appeared. Kakashi jumped down and checked his vitals. He's really dead. The mystery ninja bowed. Thank you. I've been tracking him for some time now. He then vanished and then reappeared, picking Zabuza's body up. Now I must dispose of the body since it holds many secrets. The 2 then vanished in a swirl of leaves. As soon as they left, Naruto already has suspicions about the ninja since he read about what every rank of ninja does and he knew well was a hunter ninja does. Kakashi meanwhile exhaled and pulled his headband back over his eye. Okay, let's go. He then only took a step before falling to the ground in exhaustion. Sakura and Naruto ran to his side. It seems I used too much chakra, he breathed out. Naruto picked him up. Okay, Mighty Duck, help me out. Sasuke snarled at his nickname but helped Naruto anyway. Come on, we're nearly to the village. You can stay at my house, Tazuna said and led them all towards the village. Wave Village. When they all got to the village, they went to Tazuna's home where they met his daughter Tsunami, who was a rather attractive woman with long dark hair. She had led them to a room where they could lay Kakashi, and so they all waited for him to rest up. After a few hours of sleeping he finally woke up. Sensei, are you okay? Sakura asked. Yeah, just tired. Using the Sharingan for so long really has its effects, he noted. I say I have about a week before I'm back to full strength. Tazuna, who was with them, remarked. Well, we defeated a powerful enemy, so we should be safe. I wouldn't be too sure, Naruto said, and everyone turned their attention to him. What do you mean, Dobe? Sasuke asked. I'll let Kakashi-sensei answer that. Everyone then turned to Kakashi. Well, that was a hunter nin, and as you know, their job are to track down any missing ninjas since their bodies contain village secrets. No one except Naruto knew what he was getting at. Kakashi continued his explanation. You see, hunter ninjas usually dispose of the body right then and there, but that masked ninja did what? He took the body with him, Sakura answered. Right, but the only proof he would need would be his head, but what weapon did he use? Sasuke thought, Saban needles, then his face lit up in realization. Looks like we have a winner, Naruto commented. Kakashi nodded. Yes, it is most likely Zabuza is alive, he revealed. What? Sakura and Tazuna screamed. But sensei, you said that Zabuza was dead. She continued. It was most likely a temporary state. Needles are mainly used for acupuncture and hunter ninjas are trained to know detailed knowledge of the human body, so a temporary death state would be easy for them, Kakashi answered calmly. So what do we do about it? Tazuna asked. We the ninja are going to train while you build your bridge, Kakashi said. But sensei, you can barely move, Sakura pointed out. Also, you struggled against him even with your Sharingan. Is he trying to kill us? Inner Sakura screamed. Kakashi waved them off. Don't worry, you all help me defeat Zabuza, especially you, Naruto. But then a small boy's voice came into the room. What's going on? Everyone turned to see a small boy with a bull hat on his head and overalls. Inari, there you are. Come and give me a hug. Tazuna said happily with his arms wide open. The said boy then ran and embraced his grandfather. Then Tsunami came in. Inari, say hello to the ninja who protected your grandfather. Inari turned and scowled at them. But Ka-sen, they're all going to die. Naruto laughed. Wow, thanks for the vote of confidence, kid. Inari glared at the blonde. If you don't want to die, then you better go home. No one can defeat Gato. He then turned and began walking out of the room. Where you going, Inari? Tazuna asked. To look at the ocean. Then he walked out of the room, leaving everyone behind. Oh, you just want to eat him up, Naruto joked. He then stood up. Well, got to drain the main vein. He then walked to where the bathroom was, and as he passed Inari's room he heard him crying. He even heard him say, Tusan. Naruto said nothing but continued on. Time skip. Next day. The next morning the team went into the forest and stood before Kakashi, who was now on crutches. Okay, time to begin the training. Sasuke boredly remarked. Why do we have to train? We already know jutsu. Kakashi shook his head. No, you may know jutsu but not how to use chakra properly. If you don't know how to properly control your chakra, then whatever jutsu you use won't work properly or fail. And if you waste energy, then you won't be able to fight longer, so we will fix that problem by training. How? Sakura asked. Simple, by climbing trees, their sensei answered. What? How is climbing trees supposed to help us train? Sakura screeched. Kakashi explained that the purpose of the exercise was for chakra control. They would have to mold a precise amount in their feet to stick to the tree. Their job was to get to the top and toss 3 kunai their way. Use the kunai to mark your position and then try to go past that the next time and so on until you reach the top. Each of the genin grabbed their kunai and focused to gather some chakra and then took off in a run toward their respective trees. Naruto was thinking before he got there. I don't want them to think I'm good, so I better start off small. He only got a few steps up and marked his progress before he fell off. Sasuke got a bit farther, but he applied too much chakra and was launched off, but not before he marked his own progress. To think I wouldn't get this down already. This is easy. Everyone turned to see Sakura much farther than anyone. Well, it seems the female member of the team has the best chakra control, Kakashi pointed out. Naruto shook his head. That's because she has hardly any chakra. Sasuke said nothing and didn't even make a second glance. Great, now Sasuke-kun is going to hate me, she said dejected. Looks like Sakura is quicker to become Hokage and prove the Uchiha aren't so great. Shut up, sensei! She screamed. We'll see about that, Sasuke said lowly. Okay, Captain Depth Perception, thanks for encouraging us, Naruto said. Unknown to them, Inari was watching them and then turned to leave. Just a waste of time. Zabuza's hideout. Haku sat next to Zabuza while he rested since he survived the fight as Haku put him in a death-like state, and then Gato came in with 2 sword-carrying guards behind him. One was named Waraji and the other was Zori. Gato walked up. Well, you came back defeated. Some demon of the hidden mist. More like dog of the hidden mist. Haku flinched, making the 2 guards jump in front of Gato, flicking their swords up. Gato walked past them. Hang on. He went to Zabuza and reached to him. I know you're awake. But then Haku grabbed his wrist and applied some pressure. Keep your filthy hands off him, he threatened. Waraji and Zori ran forward with their swords but didn't get too far. Haku appeared between them holding their own swords at their throats. I don't want to tempt me. I'm already pissed off. The 2 guards were shocked at how fast Haku moved. Gato, now holding his wrist, got to his feet. One more chance. That's all you get. Then he and the 2 guards left. Zabuza opened his eyes. Haku, you didn't have to do that, he said while holding a kunai under the covers. Haku smiled. I know, but it's too early to kill Gato because if we cause a commotion now they'll be after us again, so we must be patient. Zabuza sighed. You're right. He then went back to sleep. Forest, Team 7. The hours passed and the genin continued to do their training. Now Sakura was breathing hard and resting against her tree. She looked over to the boys. How much chakra do they have? She looked over to Sasuke. He's so dreamy. It won't be long until he gets this down. I hope he comes to ask for my help, but not that he needs it. She then squealed and looked at Naruto. He's doing better than I expected. I heard he failed for 2 years and didn't try for the 3rd, so how is he so far along? It would be a while before she would ever find out. As time went on, Sakura was put in charge of guarding Tazuna while he worked on the bridge, while Sasuke and Naruto continued training. Naruto could have finished a while back but decided that he would have some clones do some secret training. Besides, if the council found how advanced he was, it would cause some headaches for him. One night when they ate, Sakura asked who the person in the torn family photo was and Tsunami said it was her husband and Tazuna said he was the hero of the country. Inori left right after that and Tazuna explained that his name was Kaiza, and when he came to the village he befriended Inori and acted like a father figure to him until he was welcomed into the family. Kaiza was a hero who saved the village from flooding, but everything changed when Gato came into the village. The tyrant didn't need heroes like Kaiza interfering, so he killed the man right in front of the whole village. That was when Inari changed and the village followed Gato's words. But Naruto wasn't fazed by the story but instead continued to train, and one day fell asleep in the forest. Not far from him, Haku was picking herbs and saw him. He walked over to him and moved his arm to his throat after he remembered him from the fight with Zabuza. But in the end he decided to shake him awake. Hey, wake up, you'll catch a cold if you fall asleep here. Naruto opened his eyes and saw him. Who are you and what are you doing out here? Haku smiled. My name is Haku and I'm picking herbs to make medicine. What about you? By your headband I guess you're a ninja. No, I just thought about starting Halloween early. Here's your sign, Naruto remarked, making Haku laugh. But to answer your question, yes, I am a ninja and I'm out here training and my name is Naruto. Why are you training? You already look pretty strong, Haku pointed out. I'm just doing it because it helps me relax and to get stronger, Naruto said. If you're trying to get stronger, are you doing it for a reason or for someone? Care to elaborate? Do you have anyone you wish to protect or someone who is close to you? Naruto nodded, a few here and there. Haku then stood up and began to walk away. Well then I'm sure you'll become strong. Wait before you go, this is bugging the shit out of me. Are you a boy or a girl? Haku looked back. I'm a boy, and then he left. Naruto whistled. Well, that was disturbing. The 6th day came and gone, and Naruto and Sasuke finally finished the training exercise and decided to head back to the house. When they got back, they sat down and began to eat dinner. When he finished, Naruto sat back and looked out the window, looking at the stars, all the while Inari watching. The small boy had tears swell in his eyes, and he remembered Kaiza and everything he said. Why? He said almost in a whisper. Naruto heard him. How, you say something? Inari stormed to his feet and slammed his hands on the table. Why'd you try so hard? It doesn't matter how hard you try, you'll only die against Gato. All these sayings and promises don't mean a thing. Naruto looked impassive. You know it's rude to shout at the table. Shut up. What do you know about this country? All you're doing is butting in. You're always acting carefree. You don't anything about a hard life. The last bit of words got to the demon container, so he hung his head as to no one could see his face. So only you have ever had a hard life, huh? It's all about you then, right? Naruto then got to his own feet and glared at the kid. Stop crying and think that you're the only one who has had a hard life. At least you had a family. Inari actually shut up after that. Naruto Baka, you said enough, now apologize. Sakura scolded. Naruto said nothing but walked out of the room and into the forest. When he was far enough and he activated his Rinnegan, and then red chakra started bubbling from his body. Then black armor started appearing on his body, but then he took a few deep breaths and calmed down, making the chakra and the armor disappear. When he was done cooling down, he decided to go back to the house and get some rest. Next day, it was the end of the week and Team 7 was leaving with Tazuna. Okay, please take care of Naruto for us, Kakashi asked. Don't worry, I will, Tsunami said. Then she watched as her father and the ninja team left. Bridge. Zabuza, now in a dark blue jumpsuit with light blue pant legs and sleeves, stood with Haku in a boat. Gato had been trying to contact him, but in the end the former Kiri ninja smashed the radio. Are you ready, Haku? Yes, house. As Naruto slept, he began to wake up and heard footsteps in the hallway. He sat up and saw the door open and Tsunami walked in. I see you're finally awake. Surprising, as your sensei said you would be out all day, she said while blushing since he was sleeping shirtless, and she had to admit he was well toned for a preteen. Naruto said, not caring, and stretched, making Tsunami blush even further as his muscles twitched when he did. Naruto-kun, tell me the other night when you yelled at Inari, she began. If you're looking for an apology, then you won't get one. She shook her head. Oh no, it is not that. In fact, I'm glad you stood up to him. You see, he thinks it is always about him, and no one really says anything. But I was going to ask, was what you said true? He nodded. Yes, my parents died when I was born, and something happened to me as well, and that something forced me to be alone with no friends or anything. The village hates me for something, but I won't say what. I see, but is there anyone that you hold close to you? Yeah, a few, but a small few. Then Tsunami then noticed something on Naruto's torso. It was 2 scars that crossed from his shoulder to hip in an X. How did you get that? She said, pointing to the scar. He looked at it. Oh, this? I've had this since I was a kid. Tsunami didn't need him to explain, as she knew it was from a fight, but she didn't understand who would want to fight a little kid. She reached out and traced the scar lightly with her fingers. Then, as if she was possessed, she moved forward and pressed her lips to his. The two continued their little activity until, crash, they sprang apart, and they heard Inari scream, "Ksan! Gato's men are here!" Naruto jumped to his feet and grabbed his clothes and quickly dressed. Stay here, he ordered Tsunami, who nodded. He then summoned Yamato and headed downstairs. Bridge. When the group got to the bridge, they found the workers beaten up but not killed. Then a thick fog rolled in. Just as I thought. He is alive, Kakashi thought. Kakashi-sensei, this is Zabuza's hidden misjutsu, right? Sakura asked with a kunai in hand. Sasuke had a kunai in hand as well, and Zabuza's voice rang out. Long time no see, Kakashi. I see you still have those brats with you, and that one is shaking. Pathetic. Then all around them water clones of Zabuza appeared, but Sasuke smirked. I'm shaking with excitement. He then dashed, and easily took them all out, and they fell to the ground in puddles of water. The real Zabuza appeared with Haku next to him. So he saw through the clones, huh? The brat sure has grown, so it looks like you have a rival, Haku. It seems so, Haku added. Sasuke stepped up. I'm going to fight him. I don't like people who use cheap tricks to keep living. You're so cool, Sasuke-kun. Oh brother, Kakashi sighed. Haku disappeared and reappeared in front of Sasuke spinning with a needle in hand. Sasuke quickly blocked all of his attacks. The battle had begun. House, Waraji and Zori stepped through the hole they made. We only need one hostage, Zori said. Yes, so let's get the woman. Then we can use her for some release, he said with a sick grin. He saw Inari and advanced towards the scared boy. So I guess we won't need this brat. Inari remembered what Naruto said and shaking stood up to the men. I'm not scared of you. Waraji smirked and pulled his sword out and made his way for the kill. But then he and Zori were blasted back by Naruto, who used Shinra Tensei to knock them out of the house. Tell me, do guys like you have to kill kids to make themselves feel better? Piss off, kid. If you leave then we'll let you go, Zori threatened. Yeah, you don't want to handle two skilled swordsmen like us, Waraji said arrogantly. Naruto scoffed and began to pull Yamato from its sheath and then disappeared and reappeared behind the two. How skilled are you guys again? So you got behind us. Big deal. It's not like you did anything, Zori claimed. Are you sure about that? Naruto questioned, then the two men felt a warm substance trail down their bodies. He already? Waraji shouted but never finished as Naruto resheathed Yamato, and when the guard hit the tang the two men fell to the ground in two bloody heaps. Naruto walked over to Inari and ruffled his head. Not bad, kid. Inari was surprised at the blonde's words and began to cry but was trying not to. Hey, it's okay to cry when you're happy. Okay, now go upstairs and stay with your mom and barricade the door and cover the windows to stay safe. I'll have some clones keep watch. He then summoned some clones and they and Inari went inside the house to do what they were told. Naruto now jumped into the forest and made his way towards the bridge. I hope I don't miss the party. Bridge. Haku and Sasuke continued fighting each other, each fairly matched in terms of speed. They both locked weapons and Haku asked, "Why don't you stand down?" "I don't want to kill you if I have to." Sasuke smirked. "Oh please, I'm an Uchiha and elite so I won't surrender." "Maybe you should though." Haku sighed. "Very well, but know two things. 1. There is water all around us, and 2. I have one of your arms occupied." He then held up his other hand. "What?" "Hand signs with one hand," Kakashi said in shock. Haku did several hand signs. Hijitsu, 1,000 needles of death. Then the water around them rose up and began ice needles. Sasuke quickly concentrated and when the needles struck, Haku jumped away. "He's gone." But then he quickly jumped back 3 times as he dodged 3 shuriken. "Now it's my turn to attack," Sasuke said from behind. He backhanded Haku, who blocked it, but Sasuke flicked his wrists and threw a kunai, but Haku ducked under it right in front of Sasuke's leg coming at him. He was then knocked back to a surprised Zabuza. "Haku, could you please finish this now?" Haku stood and formed the tiger sign with his 2 fingers crossed. "Alright, Haitan." Crystal ice mirrors. Then all around Sasuke from the water mirrors made of ice formed to make a dome. He then stepped inside one of the mirrors and his image appeared in them all. "Now to show you real speed." Kakashi took only a few steps but was stopped by Zabuza. Then inside the dome of mirrors, Sasuke was hit all over his body from about every angle with needles. Sakura, hearing Sasuke's screams of pain, could not bear it, so she sprinted a ways and threw a kunai thinking it might help him. But Haku's hand stuck out from the mirror and grabbed the weapon. But he never saw the shuriken that struck his mask and knocked him out of the mirror. Everyone turned to see Naruto there tossing a kunai in his hand. "Damn, looks like I was a little off. So Haku, it looks like my assumption about you with Zabuza was right. Naruto, I was hoping you wouldn't show up, but know this, if you tend to fight me I will kill you," Haku said calmly. Naruto, unfazed, stepped into the dome. "Better ninjas than you have tried, though a fight every now and then does make life a little more interesting, don't you think?" "Dobe, you idiot! You could have helped take out the mirrors from outside," Sasuke shouted. Haku stepped back into the mirrors and Sasuke did some hand signs. "If they are ice, then Katan, fireball jutsu." He blew a large fireball at a mirror and smirked, thinking he melted it. But when the steam cleared it was still there. "These are ordinary mirrors. With your level of fire you'll only melt the top frost." Haku then launched needles, but Naruto swung Yamato so fast he was able to deflect them, and since Sasuke couldn't see him he had his Rinnegan active and saw Haku move from mirror to mirror. "So that's how you move from mirror to mirror at blinding speed," he pointed out. "Yes, this is my bloodline and I use it to protect the person who saved me from a life of loneliness, and I became a shinobi to see his dream come true, so if I must I will kill you," Haku declared. With Kakashi he knew he had to take Zabuza. With Naruto there, Sasuke stands a better chance. "Well then, Zabuza, shall we continue?" He moved to pull his headband up, but Zabuza rushed forward and stabbed him, but Kakashi managed to block his eye with his hand. Never show a ninja your best jutsu over and over, Zabuza pointed out. He then stepped back. Haku's has another ability besides his bloodline. When he sees a move once, he develops a counter for it, so he witnessed our first fight. He formed the ram sign and a real thick fog appeared. Kakashi stood there and managed to block incoming shuriken, and when he saw Zabuza his eyes were closed. I know just how to counter your little eye, and since I can attack you by sound alone, so you can't win. He kept attacking Kakashi, knocking back a bit. Kakashi calmed down, and then realized that Zabuza would go for Tazuna, so he dashed towards them and got in front of them just in time to shield them from Zabuza's sword strike. Sakura screamed, "Ice mirrors!" Inside the dome, Haku kept attacking the two, but Naruto was able to deflect the needles, but Sasuke was still getting hit, though not as bad. I have to finish this, Haku thought, and threw a large barrage of needles at Sasuke, but at the last second he rolled out of the way and managed to evade the attacks. When he lifted his head up, his eyes were red, with his left eye having one tomo and the right having two. He smirked. Now that I awoke my Sharingan, you will lose. Even though it is incomplete, it is more than enough to beat you. Naruto sighed. Oh geez, there goes his ego. Kakashi/Zabuza. Kakashi clutched his chest that was now bleeding. Too slow, Kakashi. Without your eye you're nothing special, so I think I'll toy with you a little longer. Those brats are probably dead by now too. Oh, I don't think so. I have faith in Naruto and Sasuke, but I do think it is time to end this, Kakashi said, and undid a pocket on his vest and pulled a small scroll out. Ice mirrors. Haku was unfazed by Sasuke's Sharingan, and continued his assault to where Sasuke was on one knee and full of needles and breathing hard. Damn, why can't I beat him? I'm an Uchiha. And now you're worthless, Naruto said, and grabbed Sasuke by his shirt collar and tossed him out of the mirrors. Now since he's out of the way, I think I'll try something out. Naruto, sooner or later you realize your friends are going to die. That is the life of a shinobi, so you can't protect them forever, Haku said. Good thing those two aren't my friends. Then red and black chakra erupted from his body, swirling around the area. Above him the faces of the fox and Sparta's demon form appeared. He turned his head and glanced at Haku, his Rinnegan tinted red. Kakashi/Zabuza. The two jounin felt the chakra, and Kakashi wondered, did the seal break? No, there is something else as well. It also seems to be controlled. He then opened the scroll and took blood from his wounds and wiped it on it. He then spun the scroll around and formed the tiger sign. Okay, Zabuza, time to finish this. Ice Dome. Naruto shot towards Haku, who threw some needles, but they were blasted away by a roar. Haku then moved to the top mirror and rocketed towards him, but the blonde jumped out of the way. Haku tried to move to another mirror, but his wrist was grabbed by Naruto. Sorry, you can't leave yet. He then sent a burst of chakra out, and the mirrors began cracking under the pressure. He then reared back and slammed his fist into Haku's mask, sending him away, but Naruto instantly appeared and grabbed his left, and pulled him towards him and delivered another punch, smashing him into the ground. He punched Haku a few more times, making the ground crack, and then threw the boy away. He crashed through a mirror and landed on the ground, rolling to a stop. The mirrors, no longer being sustained, were then destroyed as they fell and broke away. Naruto jumped and landed in front of Haku, who slowly got to his feet, but his mask broke away. The chakra around Naruto disappeared, and he took a deep breath through his nose and exhaled through his mouth. Why do you stop, Naruto? Because I have no reason to kill you. But I have a reason for dying. My reason for living was to serve Zabuza-sama, but since now I'm defeated, my purpose is over, so I have no reason to exist. But why Zabuza? What made you follow him? Naruto inquired. Haku then explained that he was born to two loving parents, but the country of water was plagued by civil wars, and people with bloodlines were hated, and they were blamed for bringing war to the country and were killed. His mother was from a clan, and his father found out and killed her, and when he tried to kill him, his bloodline activated, and he ended up killing his father. He explained that he was alone and felt unwanted until Zabuza came and took him in, and he was happy that he had someone who cared for him even though he was just a tool. Now you know, so please kill me, Naruto-san. Kakashi/Zabuza. The leaf ninja did some hand signs and put his hands with the scroll on the ground. Summoning jutsu. Doton. Tracking Fang Pursuit Jutsu. I don't know what you are planning, but it won't work, Kakashi, Zabuza said through the mist. But then around him the ground cracked and ninja dogs shot out from the ground and bit him all over his body. I may not have been able to seek you out, so I decided to smell you out with my ninja dogs, who are keyed to my scent, so when you cut me I let you do it. Now Zabuza, like I said, time to end this, but it won't be with Sharingan. Imitation of another ninja's tricks. No, this time it will be. He formed the ox sign. With my own jutsu. He then did rabbit and then monkey. Then in his right hand lightning appeared. Raikiri. Zabuza was shocked that he was able to see visible chakra in Kakashi's hands. Naruto/Haku. If you feel so strongly about it, then fine, I will kill you, but I wish there was some other way. Naruto then pulled Yamato from its sheath. Then you? Haku smiled, ready to embrace death. Kakashi/Zabuza. Sakura during the whole thing stayed with Tazuna. The mist is clearing. She then saw two figures. Which is Kakashi-sensei? One of the figures moved towards the other. Naruto/Haku. The two felt it. It seems I still have a purpose. He then formed an ice mirror and stepped into it. Kakashi/Zabuza. Kakashi sprinted towards Zabuza and when he was close enough sent his attack towards its designated target. When he did, blood sprayed and the lightning dispelled his dogs. He never noticed the second ice mirror until it was too late. His arm was not sticking through Zabuza as it should have but through Haku's chest. He used his last bit of strength and grabbed Kakashi's arm. Zabuza smirked. Looks like you're wrong again. Naruto. The blonde picked up Sasuke and dragged him to where everyone was, and the closer he got the lighter the mist became to where he saw Kakashi with his arm through Haku's chest. Good job, Haku. Zabuza grinned. The boy was already dead and Zabuza readied his sword to slice through them both. I sure picked a useful tool. Zabuza shouted and went to swing his sword, but Kakashi grabbed Haku and jumped away. When he landed, he pulled his arm free and closed Haku's eyes. Sakura then saw Naruto. Hey, is Sasuke-kun okay? She called. She then saw him being dragged by Naruto. I'll go with you so you won't break your promise, Tazuna said, and he and Sakura ran over to the two boys. Zabuza charged Kakashi again, but the leaf Jounin kicked the mist Jounin in the chest. When Sakura and Tazuna got to the boys, she saw Sasuke and feared the worst. She fell to her knees and tears started to swell in her eyes. Why couldn't you protect him, Naruto baka? Naruto rolled his eyes. Oh please, the human pin cushion is only knocked out. Dumbass used too much chakra. After that, he walked towards Kakashi and Zabuza. Speaking of whom, Zabuza could now only use his right arm as his left was punctured full of kunai. He charged Kakashi again, but he backhanded Zabuza away. He then appeared behind him. You're done. You can't fight me in my current state. This is goodbye. Kakashi twirled two kunai in hand and sent them to the mist ninja, who swung his right arm with sword back, dislocating it, and impaled in the bicep with both knives. His sword fell to the ground and Kakashi stood up. Now you can't use either arms or form a single hand sign. Then a voice rang out. Looks like you're getting your ass kicked. How disappointing. They all turned to see Gato standing there with a small army of mercenaries behind him. There's been a change in plans, Zabuza. You see, hiring a ninja like you is a little too expensive, but I wasn't actually going to pay you anyway. You call yourself the devil of the hidden mist? Seems to me you're like a little dog. Gato walked over to Haku's body. I owe you for hurting my arm. He then slammed his foot into his face. Naruto had enough. Zabuza, why don't you do something? Haku loved and obeyed you like you wanted, but you won't fight back for him. Don't you feel anything for what he did for you? Zabuza thought back to everything Haku did for him and some tears fell from his eyes. Simple words cut deep. Kakashi, it seems our fight is over. He then bit the bandages off his face. Lend me a kunai. Naruto pulled one out and tossed it towards the Zabuza, who caught it in his mouth. He then charged straight towards the small army, but since he couldn't use his arms, he was struck and impaled with weapons, but regardless kept pushing through. But when he got to Gato, the wounds he got were too severe, so he collapsed in front of him. How like you could have killed me, now to kill the other ninjas. But then Naruto stepped forward and stood before one of the men. Kid thinks he can kill me, though you have a nice sword there, so you mind if I take it? He reached for Yamato, but then Naruto quickly swung the sword and then man's fingers fell away as well as the top of his head. The mercenary stepped back in shock. What's wrong? I'm just a kid. Don't tell me you're scared of a kid. Some of the mercenaries were pissed at his remarks, so some of them surrounded him. Then one in front attacked him and two on each side did as well, but when the weapons were close enough he swatted them all away with his sword. On the final hit he started pulling the blade out and instantly cut one attacker in front of him down the middle. He then twisted and swung his blade across his body, killing four more in one swing. Their upper bodies fell from their lower and Naruto resheathed Yamato. One behind him swung his weapon down, but Naruto leaned away, dodging the attack, and slammed the hilt of his sword into the attacker's chest, knocking him away, but then pulled the sword out, deflecting another. Attack and use the sheath to knock the enemy in the air and then cut him in two. There was another attacker in front of him, so he cut the weapon in two and then the man. He then pivoted and using the sheath again knocked another man into the air where he too was cut in two. Naruto dashed and cut another with a diagonal slash, and then hit another man's weapon, and then moved his arm in a circle, flipping the man into the air and into another man. Naruto sheathed and pulled the sword out, cutting both in two at once. He then turned, seeing two lines of men, and he then in a battle cry charged and swung his sword at all of them, cutting them all in two. The mercenaries were horrified that a boy was able to kill so many of them so easily. As Naruto advanced, they backed up until the boy stood before Gato, who was groveling at his feet. "Please don't kill me. I'll give you anything you want. Money. Women. You name it. How about your life?" Naruto then shoved his sword into Gato's throat, and twisted it, and pulled it out. The man gurgled with blood pouring from his throat, but then felt nothing as his head was severed from his shoulders. During the whole ordeal, Kakashi was shocked. Damn, I never knew Naruto was so advanced. How did he get so good with a sword? But then again, he is Sensei's kid. Sasuke, who managed to wake up, saw the whole thing. What kind of power does Naruto have? Whatever it is, I will take it for myself. When Naruto got back to Kakashi, "Well, that should take care of them," he said casually. Then a stupid merc shouted, "Hey, just because you killed some of us doesn't mean anything. You killed our mean ticket, so now we're going to take out on the village." But then an arrow struck in front of them and everyone turned to see the villagers standing there, which made Tazuna cry. Naruto looked at Kakashi. "Well, Sensei, I've been working on a new jutsu, so let me know what you think, but please don't copy it." Kakashi nodded and pulled his headband over his eye since he wasted too much chakra anyway. Naruto did some hand signs, Suetun, Hydra Dragon Jutsu. Then from the ocean a large dragon with 6 heads rose up. The mercenaries were freaked out and some even pissed their pants. Some who at the edge of the bridge jumped off, but those who didn't were unlucky as the dragons slammed into them. The force from the water knocked the remaining mercenaries into the ocean, and some were even shredded to pieces. When it was over, the villagers cheered for finally being free, and Kakashi went over to Zabuza. "Kakashi, I have one last request. Let me see his face." "Sure." Kakashi then picked Zabuza up and carried him over to Haku, and the strange thing was that it began to snow. Kakashi set him down next to Haku, and Zabuza managed to touch Haku's face with his hand. "Thank you for all that you did for me. I know that you'll go to a place much better than me, but I hope one day I can go to that same place. As you." That was his last breath, as Zabuza Momochi was now dead. A lone snowflake landed on the corner of Haku's eye and melted and fell away looking like a tear. The villagers were more cheerful now ever since Gato was killed and Zabuza and Haku had graves made for them. Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura guarded Tazuna while he finished the bridge. Naruto stayed at the house for extra measure. Naruto sat looking out at the ocean until, "Naruto-kun, can you come and help me real quick?" Tsunami called. Naruto got up and headed into her room, and when he entered he heard the door close. Lemon removed to meet site guidelines. "Just know that if you're ever around, feel free to come by," she said and kissed him passionately. "Oh, I will," he said. It wasn't long until the bridge was finished. The ninja team stood before the villagers. "Thank you for letting us stay here," Kakashi said. "It's no problem since you helped us finish the bridge. Now we can prosper again," Tazuna said. Inari walked up to Naruto. "Nisan, please come by again to visit." He then hugged the boy. Naruto ruffled his hair. "No problem, kid, I will. Have a good and safe trip back to your village," Tsunami said, and then winked at Naruto. "We will," Kakashi said, and they all turned and began walking off back towards their own village. "They brought hope back to this place, and it was thanks to that boy," Tazuna said, referring to Naruto. "Yes, and that reminds me, we have to name the bridge," Inari said. "Don't worry, I already decided. The bridge will be called the Great Naruto Bridge," Tazuna announced. They all then began walking back to their own village when Inari asked, "Kasen, you and Naruto were together in your room for a few hours. What were you doing?" She smiled. "Don't worry. He was just giving me a good massage," she said, blushing.